Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin, Master Certified Life Coach and Weight Loss Coach.
And I'm Sandra Priestley, Leadership Coach for Female Entrepreneurs and a Feng Shui Practitioner. Welcome to the Happy Half Hour.
Good afternoon.
Hello, girl. I am drinking a Shiraz today.
Oh.
It is this one. Yeah, it is this one. It's Wine O'Clock.
Oh,
Shiraz.
I like that.
Yeah, it's so cool. And there's like a tiny little thing underneath Wine O'Clock and it says Wine O'Clock somewhere, but you can't, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses
tiny
on.
Little Wine O'Clock somewhere. So I am drinking wine today. What are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking hot chocolate because we are in an ice storm right now. And
so crazy.
I mean, it's a Texas ice storm. I mean, it's not a big deal. We just don't leave. So cool. It's been great. Like, got the grandkids here. Lily and Eric are here. Logan and Mona went to California. So it's this great like snow day where, you know, I play with the babies and then I come get on a coaching call, go play with the baby. It's been great. But in my hot chocolate, I am drinking Screwball, which is a peanut butter whiskey.
What?
Yes. And you put the peanut butter whiskey in the hot chocolate and oh dear God, it tastes like a Reese's cup.
Oh.
And I'm drinking it in my favorite mug. My daughter-in-law gave this to me for Christmas and I'll have to read it to you. It says, "Dear mother-in-law, thank you for being my mother-in-law. If I had a different mother-in-law, I would punch her in the face and go find you. Love, your favorite."
Aw, I freaking love, I love that type of humor. So, but it's like, I love mugs. Like I have so many inspirational mugs, things that like say, simplify, life is good. Like, or, you know, just random things like all I need is mascara and coffee, or, you know, like funny things like that. But I love what I love about mugs like that is that every time I pick one up, it elicits a feeling.
Oh, for sure.
Like it elicits a feeling of like, you know, I don't know, like I've got one mug that says, "Let's do this." And I swear I hear this song and it's like, okay, let's fucking go. Yeah. And then this other one is like, "Simplify, life is good." And it gives me this feeling of like, deep breath, life is good. Like, how can I make it more simple? How can I stop overcomplicating the living hell out of things? Like, you know, and it's like every single, well, I mean, you know, with Feng Shui, it's like everything in our space is speaking to us.
Oh, it tells a story.
Right. And it's like, so I especially love mugs and quotes and things like that. But like, I love picking up a mug and like feeling something from it, you know?
Yeah.
Like when you pick up that mug, how does it make you feel?
Well, I
feel like I'm in therapy here, but
I love Mona and I feel like Mona loves me.
Yeah.
Because as silly as that is, like, I feel like she would punch someone in the face and come find me. But I mean, I adore her.
And it's always good too, I think, for as much as like, I'm super sarcastic too. So like that is like really hits my funny bone. And I think there's a fine line. I've kind of been in this like place of like, I want to make sure that I can still have that sarcastic side to me, like my conscious mind, but then I don't want to be so sarcastic that my subconscious mind is like, you know, like I know I've got friends who love that, those sayings. Like I have sayings in my space, "Life is good," on my mug, above my front door, in my journey area. And I've got friends who have t-shirts and things that say, "Life is crap." Now, I find that super funny. I mean, it's funny, it's sarcastic, but at the same time, what is that sending to your subconscious mind, right? So the thing that I love about your mug is like, it's sarcastic and it's cheeky, but it's not saying anything bad to your, it's not like giving you
No,
messages of life is shit,
no, it
it's
gives me
like,
warm fuzzies.
yeah, totally, in this like awesome way.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. Wow. And I'm gonna need to see if there's peanut butter whiskey now, because
It's called
wow,
screwball.
screwball. I don't usually shop in the whiskey section, but now I may.
So, fun fact. My mother taught me how to drink. I am not a whiskey drinker. I thought it put hair on your chest or something.
Mhm.
And we were in Florida at my brother's house, and she's like, Leigh, gotta try. It's like, I think hers was a salted caramel. And
Oh,
she's like, you've got to
yeah.
try this. And I'm like, Mom, I don't drink whiskey. And
Mhm.
she said, oh no, you just have to try it. And I'm like, well, how do you mix it? She goes, you don't, you put it over ice with a splash of water.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good.
Really?
So good. Now, it's not something that you would drink quickly. It's something that you sip on.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't need more than one.
Yeah.
But that's how I learned how to drink whiskey.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, there's something, those like those um big ice cubes that you can make
That's
too.
what we do.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, big square or round ice cubes.
Mhm.
You put one in, like it's just like next level awesome.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could totally do that.
Mhm.
And anything salted caramel is good.
Oh, for sure. And the peanut
Yeah.
butter is good like that as well.
Wow. Okay. Next stop. I
Mhm.
have to go and see if we have this in Canada. I don't even know.
Sure.
But I have to say, like, I don't know where you are today. So the podcast listeners can't tell, but if you're on our YouTube channel, what's
Okay, so
like,
I'm in
I,
my bedroom, and I am in here because I have a house full of people. I don't know. Did I mention all the people that are here?
yeah.
Okay. So rather than have them scatter, I
Mhm.
thought I'll just go to the bedroom. And this is like my favorite little spot. Anyway,
Yeah.
you like the
I
green?
flippin' love the painting you've got going on. Like, it is so stunning. Not that you're not stunning, but I'm not paying attention to you. I'm only looking at the painting. Like, it's just so dang beautiful.
It's our favorite. I think it's 9 years old now. A friend of mine, Kat McCool, who ended up being a feng shui student, she did this piece for us. And then she did a piece for Logan and for Lily, and then for me and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
This one I asked her to do for our bedroom because it
Mm-hmm.
falls in the wealth area of the home, but it
Right.
also kind of doubles as a relationship area
Mm-hmm.
because this is our
It's your
space.
bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't give her any parameters except I said it needs to have purple in it. It needs to be jewel toned, and
Mm-hmm.
it needs to represent our relationship. So in effect,
Nice.
it's going to represent our abundance and our
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah. I love it.
And I trusted her because she's amazing. And when she brought it over, it was like goosebumps. Just and when she saw it together, she painted them separately. So
Mm-hmm.
she didn't realize how
She
perfect.
painted them separately.
Yes,
Like, it's like, it looks like this well, I can't see the top of it, but it looks like this beautiful heart. How
it
is it
is.
possible? Oh, how is it possible she painted those separately?
Well, they're two pieces.
Yeah, I
And so she
know.
had
And
to
it's
have
just like,
them separated because it's
oh, I
all they're
see what you
painted
mean.
all on the
Yeah, but
side.
she intentionally, I thought, like, that's so like, I can't stop staring at it.
Yep.
Like, I want a print of it. I want like, I want one now.
So
It's so beautiful.
when we got the two pieces, because I wanted two, because we wanted to put them on each side of our bed. So he would have one above his nightstand. I would have one above mine. So that's why we got the two pieces that size.
Right.
So we get them here. We're thrilled. They're beautiful. And we put them up on the wall, and they were beautiful, the coloring. but we started fighting. I shouldn't say fighting, not like fighting, but like
Yeah.
bickering.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I mean, I think he breathed too loud. I mean, and I annoyed the hell out of him. He was annoying the hell out of me. We were just rare. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
So something happened and he went outside to mow the yard and I'm in the bedroom, probably cussing at him through the window. He can't hear me, but I'm probably staring at him, just, having my choice words. And I looked over at the pictures and something said, you need to put them together. And I was like, fine, I'll put them together. But I mean, I just thought, I'll show you. He's still going to be an asshole when they're together.
Yeah. And because it's always their fault. Yeah.
Always their fault. I mean, I was a perfect angel. So
I believe it.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to get them straight, cussing, because I can't, I mean, that's not what I do. I can do it, but I usually have to get multiple holes in the wall to where Paul will measure, level.
Yeah.
And he goes, boop, boop, and it's done. That's not it.
Yeah.
But as soon as we put them together, everything was fine. And it sounds so silly, but the name of the painting is Two Hearts Beating as One. And I think that we just ripped them apart.
Yeah.
Which manifested with us bickering.
Yeah. And people might think that this is so weird, but here's the thing. It's like when we see, so you see the picture, it's two hearts beating at one. One represents you, like you put this in your mind, right? One represents you and one represents Paul. Let's put one in the kitchen and one in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like we're we become completely apart, and then we become completely apart.
Yes.
It's the messages that, it's not like, voodoo magic. It's like the messages that we send to our subconscious mind, and it just manifests like that.
Yeah.
It's every so time. True. Like I always joke, but in my intimate relationships, marriage area, it's my kitchen. And I have these two, so, in this area, back right corner, you're supposed to have two things together, like represent your relationship or a relationship that you want, right? And so I had two stainless steel teapots. Why? I don't know, because I actually don't use teapots. I drink tea, but just anyway, I have these two beautiful stainless steel teapots, and I decided that was going to represent my husband and myself. So I put them up on top of our cupboards, and I don't have too terribly much up there, but these two stainless steel teapots. And I said to him at the time, he's like, why did you put the teapots up there? That's a weird, like, what? Like, either use them or get rid of them, right? And I said, well, this is our intimate relationships marriage area, and that the two teapots represents you and me. And like I put them together, and the teapot spouts touch, like they're close together, right? And so one is a little bit shiny and slender and a little bit taller, and another one is like brushed, and it's rounder and shorter. And so he said, well, which one is me? And I said, well, I'm the shiny tall one. So that's kind of our joke. But it's like, I so believe, like when I put them up there, it was to represent us being together and the two of us together. And I'm telling you, I have this thing where I cannot put them separate. I just can't. I can't. I have to have them together. I can't. They're tied together. They're tied. Either both of them go. I can't. Now I don't even. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? It's like the smallest little things, or just like, when you're trying to manifest a better relationship or manifest a relationship, and the things that you have in your space are a whole bunch of ones.
Yeah.
You
Or
know, and you don't,
the single women,
right.
you know, the
Yeah.
beautiful pictures of the women that, and it's like, and especially when I see friends, married friends that have that artwork, I'm like, get rid of that. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they feel
Mm-hmm.
alone, even though
Yes.
their husband is right there.
It's so true.
Mhm.
It's so true. And it's so, I mean, we as feng shui, you know, people who practice feng shui, we get that. But I always give I always give the example of, you know, because the way that I teach it is like not really the superstitious stuff. It's not, it's really truly that you interact with your environment.
Mhm.
Full stop. You interact with your environment and everything is sending you your subconscious mind messages, and your subconscious mind causes or is responsible for anywhere from 80 to 95% of your actions.
Mhm.
So if you want to lead a different life, what is your environment giving you? What energy are you interacting with in your environment, and what messages is your subconscious mind telling you? And if everything is one chair and one lamp, one picture of a single lady, one, you know, everything is in ones.
Or a bunch of shit that was handed to you that you don't even like.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Or like, and so the example that I always give is like, you know, if what you want is to attract a new relationship, it would be completely logical to get rid of the picture of your ex.
Yes.
And it's just this, like everyone would go, well, if you want a new relationship, get rid of
Mhm.
the stop wearing the ring. Right. And it's so common, but then we don't take it one step further and go, what else is happening?
Mhm.
What else is my environment telling me, and my subconscious mind? Because the subconscious mind is like, it's listening to everything, like literally,
Yes.
like a 2-year-old.
Yep.
Right. Like, it's like, if you told me this, this is the way it is. And so if you've got like pictures of your ex, you're constantly getting that energy of,
Mhm.
you know, pictures of your ex, or old shit you don't like anymore is like representing the old you. You want to
Yes.
know why you're stuck and why you can't step forward into the new you,
You're
or
looking at the past.
you're looking at the past, you're
Mhm.
looking in the rear view, you're looking at whatever happens to be in your space at this time. You're looking at what is,
Yes.
right? What is in your space, and also what was,
Mhm. And not what
and
you want.
not what you want. And this is so like, oh man, this is like such a good point. It's like what is and what was instead of what if.
Mhm.
Because if we can create our space and we can create like our talk track, our emotional soundtrack, if we can pay attention to all of that stuff and really look more to what if, and what is it that we want, and what is it that we desire, and be happy in whatever it is, like even the smallest thing, just being thankful for what we have, no matter what situation we're in.
Mhm.
If we can just be thankful for what we have and desire something more, we
Yes.
can manifest more.
And I think people get confused sometimes because, you know, I mean, I believe we can create our life exactly as we want it. Do I
Mm-hmm.
think it's always easy? No. Are there things that come up that you're like, shit, did I really order that?
Yeah.
Yes. But it's the things that we talk about and gnaw on to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, let's tell the world about this horrible thing that happened to me today.
Yeah.
It just brings on more. And I've
Yeah.
found myself to where I've gotten to a point where things happen and I'm just like, well, shit, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel the need to pick up the phone and call all of my girlfriends or even Paul sometimes, or my mother, or and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe this crap that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to give it any more life.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm like, well, I don't want that. So what
Mm-hmm.
do I want?
Well,
And
and what, yeah, and what we think about, we bring about.
yes.
right? So, I mean, if we want something different, stop looking at our feet. Like if
Mhm.
we want something different, start to create something different, start to talk in a different way, start to, I am like a huge Sarah Blakely fan, not a really huge fan of Spanx, but I'm a huge Sarah Blakely fan. And she said, like, from the time when she was little, she would be listening to motivational tapes in her, like cassette tapes, because she's our age, cassette tapes, listening
Mhm.
to motivational interviewing on cassette tapes in her car. And she said, they would be in university, going to parties or whatever, going out to the bar or wherever they were going. And they were like, yeah, don't go with Sarah because she'll make you listen to that shit. Like they want, like going to the bar and you're listening to a motivational speaker on your cassette
Yeah.
tape would be. But she said, like, her dad had given them to her. And it was constantly about, like, what are you saying to yourself?
Mhm.
What are you saying out loud? And what are you saying to yourself? Oh my gosh, I feel like there could be a whole episode on this, but I love the book. It takes what it takes, I think it's called. I think it's Trevor Moawad. It
Okay.
takes what it takes. And what he says is he had done, I'm going to like totally screw up this story, but what he said was, so he works with college football players and preparing them mentally for the NFL draft. And what he said, and he works with college football teams. And so what he said, his dad was like some famous mindset guru.
Mhm.
And his dad was always talking about positive thinking. And he's like, is this the truth? Is this like, if it all it is positive thinking to get you what you want, is that the truth? And so he started researching it. And what he researched was this. This was huge for me. I don't know the stats though. So, I should have come
Wow.
prepared, but this is coming out. So, go buy the book. But what he said is that what they noticed was it wasn't always okay. It wasn't always possible to be positive.
Mm.
Like sometimes it was crazy humidity and huge, and the conditions were terrible. And sometimes they were down 21-0 in the fourth quarter. And sometimes things suck shit. And so what he said was, what they found in this research was that if you were positive and spoke positively, that would get you the best results. If
Mhm.
you were positive and thought positively without speaking it, that would get you good results. If you were negative and spoke negatively, that would also get you good results, but bad ones, right?
Yeah.
It would get you results,
It would get you what you're talking about.
bad ones.
Yeah.
And then if you thought negatively and kept your trap shut, it was less likely to get you the negative results. So,
Mm.
like, at all cost, what he said was, if you can't think positively, think neutral.
Yeah.
That's the best. If you can't speak positively, think positively. If you
Mhm.
can't think positively, think neutral.
Mhm.
But the one thing
Yeah.
that we will never, ever, ever do is think negatively and speak negatively.
Mhm.
And what happened was the teams started to win.
Mm.
The teams that were never able, they were never allowed. Ooh, I just got chills. The teams that were never allowed to speak out loud if they had a negative thought, they started to win. They
Mhm.
were never allowed to think in terms of, or to speak and like, oh, it's so hot, or this is the wind is shit. This is the first quarter, and it's coming towards us. This isn't going to be good. That's not going to be good. We got all these injuries, blah blah blah. If
Mm.
they thought that, they had to keep their trap shut,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they started to win. And I had a conversation it was this morning, I think, or yesterday, with a woman who was like, oh my gosh, your life seems to be amazing. Everything is going good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fuck, no. I mean, we have to feel that duality. There's a reason why there's yin and yang. There's a
Well, it's
reason why there's light and
contrast.
dark. It's contrast. And you
Contrast.
feel so you appreciate, if everything was great, you would never appreciate the greatness.
You wouldn't even know it was great.
Right. So I'm pretty honest about like when things go to shit, but I usually don't, I don't talk about them when they are shit. I work through them and then use it as an, an example of like how to move through it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like, I choose to not spread that. I choose to, even if I think negatively, to keep it to myself and never speak it out loud. Because we want to spread happiness here at the Happy Half Hour, right?
Right.
But let's face it, sometimes we're not happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not happy.
But we don't have to stay there.
But we don't have to stay there. And the more I feel like the more we speak it, the longer it keeps us there.
Well, in my opinion, and what I've seen in my life and in people that I watch, sometimes you can see people spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And this is wrong. And then and it makes me realize what powerful manifestors they are.
Oh,
because
totally.
an instant of looking at something they don't like that brings them the next thing they don't like. And before I know it, and I'm sitting there listening to all of the shit they don't like. And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
What the fuck do you like? Like,
yeah.
This, tell me what you like.
Yeah.
Sometimes they hear me, sometimes they don't.
But the thing is when you do more of what you like,
yeah,
when you talk more about what you like you can see it. This is my favorite when I'm coaching. You can see their eyes sparkle.
Yes, there's a shift.
There's a massive shift when they start talking about things that they're naturally good at, things that they love to talk about, things that they like, and you can see it in their eyes and you can hear it in their voice.
Yep.
Like I feel like I come alive when I go live or when I'm doing this podcast. I feel like it's my thing,
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, shit, maybe I should just have like 10 podcasts. That would be great.
Just do podcasts all day long.
Just podcasts. I will make no money and I will be super happy. But, but it's the truth. It's like, wow, when you see and when we focus more on what we're good at and we focus more on what we love and we focus more on the positive and we speak more about the positive, we attract more positive people. Mm-hmm. It's again, we're back to The Secret when when they talk about on the movie, sure. Mm-hmm. Wake up and bash your toe on the corner of something, the nightstand or whatever. And pretty soon your whole day goes to shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see it happen so fast. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy, crazy thing.
But once you recognize it, then you catch yourself as you get the thought. Mm-hmm. And then you can shift it. Like the other day, I don't know, I was worried about this ice storm coming. Mm-hmm. And worried about driving. And my initial mind went to, oh my God, you're going to pull out of the driveway because our driveway is steep. Mm-hmm. And it's not only steep, but it's stained concrete, which makes it slick. And then yes, put ice on top of that. It's like, you see Christmas Vacation when Clark or Eddie greased up the metal thing in the ice and he went
and they flying.
Yeah,
they go flying down.
I envisioned me coming out of and you sort of popped in my head going, what are you planning? Like, really? That's mm-hmm. what you want to create today? Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true.
And when you can catch yourself in the beginning of that thought and go, I don't want to slide out of the driveway. So what do I want? Mm-hmm. And then kind of regroup. That story that you told about when you were figure skating and your coach was like, envision the way you want to do the jump.
Yeah.
and you envisioned the jump that you fell, and you
Yeah.
fell in just the way that you had envisioned.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that just hit me because it was like, fucking plan it. Like, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
go do that. Go make that
Mm-hmm.
happen. You don't need to slide out of the driveway. Relax.
Although I have to tell you, those stamped driveways, I wiped out one time, like on my shoes. I
Oh,
wiped out so badly. They are super slick.
they are. We have a lot of friends,
Mhm.
especially, that have been over here for parties. Might have been some wine involved.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
they
goodness.
leave, they have a few drinks and they leave, and there's a steep driveway that's slick. And if there's been any rain, it's like,
Whoops. Yeah.
yeah,
But it's so true. It's like we are practicing. It's like what we think we're practicing for it to happen.
yes.
And then we know that path.
Yeah, let's just
Like
do
when
that.
we're a worrier, when we worry, like I used to be the worst at like planning, like what would I do if something awful happened and how would I handle it, blah 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 blah. And I really believe like if I just think in terms of like I'm worried about this thing, I'm gonna plan out what I would do if it happened. I was creating, like, it's amazing that a whole
Creating
bunch of nasty,
unnecessary drama.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm guilty.
You know, and
Mhm.
someone said once, or maybe it's a quote, is like when you worry about the future, you destroy the present. Like when you worry about the future.
Well,
Or
and
honestly, if you like feel guilt about the past, you can't
it's
fucking
the
change
same
it.
thing.
So
That's what I was just gonna say.
yeah,
Regret from the past and beating ourselves up over the past. Same thing. We miss the moment.
yeah, it's so true.
Mhm.
And like Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now, because I love that one,
Yes.
it's like there's peace in the now.
Mhm.
When we're not thinking about the past and feeling regret for the past or guilt or whatever on the past, and we're not worried about the future, and we realize that there is this moment right now when
Yeah.
people are listening to us and we're fucking awesome. So there's this moment. It's like the present moment is
That we
perfect.
that we miss out on so often because we are
Totally.
living in the past or living in the future.
Yeah. Like, when you go on autopilot, when
Yes.
you go on
Yeah.
autopilot because you're thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I
How'd
don't
I get
remember that at
here?
all. What was I watching on TV? I don't even remember that show. I don't even, we were not in the present moment and we miss the movie.
Or we're driving
Yeah.
somewhere and we
Or
get
we're
there and we're
driving,
like, well, how the hell did I get here?
right? I know that happened to me too when we
Yeah.
just first moved here. So I was like, I was in my late 30s and I thought I had dementia. Seriously. I was like, whoa, what happened? I do not recall.
Yeah.
Where am I? Like we just moved. I didn't really know. But I mean, where am I? What happened? Where did I go? I came back. I'm like, yeah, I'm really worried. I think there's something wrong
Can
with
we
me
get my brain
mentally.
checked?
I think yeah.
Were you trying to manifest dementia in your late
I
30s?
know in my 30s. Like, wow. But we miss out on the present moment.
Yeah,
And we create what we don't want. And then
correct.
we try to bring people down too, I feel
Well,
like,
and I don't
right?
think
Like when
that's
we say,
intentional. I think we just don't
not
know.
at all. Not at all. What we want is to feel like everyone feels like us.
Yes.
Right. So that we feel better. We feel better when we're all exhausted. When I was at work, it was like we were always complaining about how tired we were and how behind we were and how, and like, man, the more we complain, I mean, this is literal, but like the more we sat on the phone and complained about how busy we were, the busier we got because
Yeah.
we're not fucking working.
Yeah.
Like we weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
That's how it works in the universe too. It's like when we spend so much time thinking about the past or worrying about what is, or worse yet, vocalizing something bad, we have no or almost no capacity to shift. It takes a lot to shift us into gratitude and into manifesting something different.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's so huge for me because I mean, I used to be like that too, right? I used to be the one who was super sarcastic. I shouldn't say, because I was always thinking in terms of like visualizing positive things, but it also, sometimes we get stuck and we don't recognize what we're doing. So now in my 50s, but also in my 40s, I was really paying attention a lot to like, what am I creating? What am I thinking about? And am I creating what I want? What am I stepping into?
And once we have that awareness, we can correct it. But
Totally.
I was there for years,
Mhm.
and did not realize what I was doing. I thought I was just being real and honest and talking. Well, I was just in this
Mhm.
spiral of creating more of the sameness.
And I think in the world currently, but I mean, in general,
Mhm.
a lot of people have that, you know, that would be normal.
Yeah.
That would be normal
Mhm.
to complain. It would be normal to be, you know, sarcastic and like life is crap, because it is. And you know, like it would be
Yeah.
normal for people to say, why is this shit so hard? I hate COVID. I hate like all of the things, you know. And yeah, it has been tough. I chose, especially during the lockdowns, in Canada. I think you had lockdowns in Texas. I'm not sure, but when it first happened in 2020, it was like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen?" And I'm like, you know what? Time to breathe. The kids and Cam and I were in the house together. We're getting along, not at each
No
other's
one's
throats.
fighting.
No one's fighting. We're all kind of sitting watching the TV, wondering what's going to happen next. But it was like this time where I thought, this is our time to connect again. We can't go anywhere. We can't hang out. We can't go to the store. There is nothing that is hustle and bustle because we're stuck in the house. So let's make the best of it and like, let's really connect. And I really felt like this was such a blessing. I chose to, though. I could have watched social media and sat in the trauma, drama, and the bullshit of that negativity, or I could choose to shift it and choose to see the positive, right? And sometimes that takes an active, like intentional thought, because
Oh,
it's
it's
so much
so
easier to just fall back, right? Yeah,
because it's changing a habit that you've had for years.
exactly.
It is completely,
Exactly.
so it's like reprogramming the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at the clock and we're like over, and we're like
Oh
just
no.
in the middle of this conversation.
Oh
So we're
no.
gonna have to pick back up on this. And it seems Walter, he's just saying
Aw.
hi to
Hello,
everybody.
Walter. Okay, well, this
So,
has been like super fun though.
yeah. And Walter says bye.
Again, I'm saying yeah, I'm still distracted by the picture, but I
Okay.
am like
Well,
thrilled.
it's been good. Thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next week on the Happy Half Hour. Go have a good week. Bye.
Bye.